Hey everyone and welcome to this video. In this video I will be ranking all of the FC Barcelona players based on the 2023-2024 season. And before we get into this video, I want to let everybody know that this is based on my opinion, and I am also a Barcelona fan, so maybe my opinion is a little bit biased. I really don't know, but just bear that in mind when I make the rankings. So we start off with Oriol Romeu, a player that was brought in as a reserve player and not really as a first squad player. I don't think he was that bad, honestly. Like, most of the time he was like alright for a reserve player, but he also just had some moments where you were like, that's completely awful. But he also had some moments that were quite alright. So I'm gonna put him into D tier, but like high D tier. Okay, so now we have Pedri. Pedri is a player who is very good, but he's had a lot of injuries and he's also injured right now. And the injuries are gonna affect his rating because he is really good, but simply because of his injuries I can't put him higher than a high B tier. Then we have Jules Koundé, a player who's, I feel like, very underrated because he's always there, he's always consistent. He's never like the player who has like a top performance. It's mostly just like consistent performances, but I feel like he's never bad. You never see Koundé perform bad. He's always decent, he's always there, he does what he needs to do. And he also sacrificed himself for the right back position, even though he wanted to be a center back. But yeah, I feel like he's been very good and I feel like he deserves that A tier spot. Then we have Sergio Roberto, a player who's our captain until he was released from the club. But I feel like he started off very good at the start of the season when he got subbed on like a couple of times and scored some goals, but then I feel like he just fell a little bit off and he wasn't even playing all the time. So I feel like he's better than Oriol Romeu, but not better than a C tier for me. Then we have Ronald Araujo, a player that I think is a little bit overrated. I feel like he's very good, but not as good as people hype him up to be. I feel like his best season was definitely last year. I feel like he's fell a little bit off since last season, but I still feel like he's a good player, but I think he's below Koundé for me. I actually don't know if he should be an A or B tier, but I'm gonna put him A tier for now. Then we have Andreas Christensen, a player who's like reserve / starting player. He's not always starting, but he's not on the reserve all the time. A little bit mixed up between like how much he plays, but I feel like he's high C or low B. I feel like I'm gonna put him in low B because I feel like he's been solid and he's also changed position this year from central defender to central defensive midfielder, so I feel like he should have some credit for being able to do that. And then we have Ferran Torres, who is a player that had a very great start to the season, but then he got an unfortunate injury, which I feel like kind of affected his performance a little bit when he came back. But I still feel like he's very good, and I think he should be right around here. I'm gonna put him under Pedri just because he hasn't played enough because of his injuries. And then we have Rafinha, a player that is very good. Has really stepped up since his debut for Barcelona. Has scored a lot of goals this season, and even though he's played so well, Barcelona are still talking about selling him, which I don't understand because I feel like he's so good. I mean, I get that we have Lamine Yamal on the right wing as well, but still feel like it would be sad to just throw him away like that. So I'm honestly gonna put him in. I feel like he should be a or S tier. just I don't know who should be in S tier, honestly, if it shouldn't be him. So I will put him in S tier. I think it's a very difficult decision, but we'll get back to him later if anything changes. But for now, he is the first S tier. Then we have Joao Cancelo, a player that is very good in his offense, but very horrible in his defense. And the only problem is he is such a good and attacking player, but he's the defender, and I feel like that ruins it quite a bit because he is always in the attack. I never see him run back. It's so rare that he does that, so because of that I feel like he's gonna have to be here, even though he could have been way higher if he actually knew how to defend. Then we have Joao Felix, a player that was on loan with Joao Cancelo, very good player, honestly. Yeah, he is very good, and I also feel like he in the start he was just scoring goals, but then I feel like later on he actually brought up a little extra off the ball as well, and I've just put Koundé up in S tier because I feel like he deserves to be there. Yeah, and okay, actually I'm gonna put him back. It's really difficult for me to make these ratings because it's just so close from like A tier to S tier and A tier to B tier, so it's very difficult. But I think I'm gonna put Joao Felix in S tier. I don't know if he should be higher or lower. It's very difficult, but I think I'll put him just below Rafinha, but it's very close. Then we have Ter Stegen, a player that has been injured quite a lot, but I still feel like he's good and he plays so well every match, and he's a player that's always consistent like Koundé, and I feel like he should be rewarded for that. So for now, I'm gonna put him in high A tier. I mean, if it was last season, he would definitely be S tier, but because of his injuries, he'll be in A tier for now. Then we have Inaki Pena, his Ter Stegen's reserve goalie, did show that he had some alright saves, but also you could see that he was a reserve goalie, and for that I'm gonna put him in high C tier because I feel like he played well for a reserve goalie. Okay, then we have Frankie de Jong, a player who has had a lot of injuries and he's also injured right now. I honestly feel like he should be sold because he gets so much in his wages, and he's just like, he's alright, he's good, but he's not overly impressive good. I'm gonna put him here just below Pedri because I feel like he's been good but not good enough to keep. I think he should be the one who has to be sold. And then we have Gavi, who's not played, so I won't rank him. Then we have Lewandowski, a player that I think that actually been one of our best players as well. He is just proven himself in the last half of the season. I feel like he is so good, and he can, like, even though he can obviously score goals, but I feel like he can also assist, and he's more technical than I actually thought he would be. And I feel like for that, I think he deserves to be above Joao Felix. I feel like he is just our best player. Even though he's aging a bit, I still feel like he deserves our respect. Then we have Fermin Lopez, a player that I honestly really think is underrated. Like, he is so good, and yeah, he's just like, he is so good, and I definitely think he deserves to be in S tier. I think he deserves to be the second best for now, because I feel like he's just been per class. Like, he's a midfielder, but he can score goals with his head, his left foot and his right foot, and he's incredibly fast and incredibly good at dribbling. Then we have Balde, who hasn't played either, so I won't rank him as well. Then we have Marcos Alonso, played very few games. I won't talk too much about him because I feel like he's absolutely awful. Like, that man is horrible. I don't want him in my club anymore, and I also think he's already left, so that is a relief because he's horrible. Then we have the star boy Lamine Yamal. I think he's been very good, and many people probably rank him as the best player for Barcelona, and next season I think he could be, but this season he's been extremely good, but he's not gotten as many goals as assists as like Lewandowski, and I feel like he has everything. And he's incredibly great, but I feel like because he's 16, or actually 17, he just turned 17, because he's only 17, I feel like he still has some time to improve, but he is definitely up there as a best player, which is crazy considering he is only 17 years old. Like, I'm 17 and I'm older than him. It's crazy. And then we have Marc Gui, a player that has played a very few amount of matches. I mean, scored a goal, and I think he deserves to be in C tier because he was alright, but nothing more than that. Then we have our manager, and he's obviously not played, but I can still try to rank him. But it's gonna be very difficult because I honestly don't know where to put him, because he's been great, but there's been a few flaws as well. But I think we can put him here. I feel like he knows the system. He's made it work. I feel like he got fired. I feel like that was wrong. I mean, he wasn't the best manager, but he was good enough, and I feel like he had proven himself. Then we have Gundogan, a player who's also been very good this season. Probably gonna put him just below the S tier, but he's been very good. Then we have Inigo Martinez. Not really seen that much of him, and I'm not really that impressed, so he's gonna be in C tier. And that is my list of the 2023-2024 Barcelona season. Like this video if you liked my tier list, and then make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.